You ready?
I think we can start without him. Unless you guys have questions for him. If you saw him play noon ball, you definitely wouldn't have any questions.
Matt, just the way your three seniors played down the stretch, that's kind of the perfect senior day story, it seems.
Yeah, all three of them made significant plays. I thought Travion was able to get some rebounds. He made his first two free throws, got a couple baskets. Sasha made the big three. But Eric Hunter really made some nice plays. I know he missed that last one, but it was a really good decision and a really good drive. And that's kind of what was there for us, is some of those open drives that didn't involve Jaden Ivey. They did a great job, Indiana, of really loading up on him and making it difficult. You have to give them credit for them. But no, Travion, Eric, and Sasha all, really contributed to this victory.
Yeah, Coach, second chance points, 15-2. I know you're a bigger team, but just want to on that, and the fact that it seemed to spur you particularly early, a lot of baskets in the first half off second chances.
Right. I thought Mason had a couple of those plays early that he kept alive. Zach has 4 offensive rebounds. Travion has a couple, but Eric and Jaden also have a couple. Being able to get on the glass and just keep getting those possessions, and not turning the ball over. Both teams did a good job of not, having a high number of turnovers, but. Just trying to scrap. We had the game, when we're up 13 there in that first half, where we had some possessions to push the game out a little bit and give Indiana credit because we weren't able to do that. But we had some shots there that we, like to get back that were pretty open. Some of them are kind of the reloads, the offensive rebound kickouts when it's tough to match up.
Was that your phone?
It's not mine. I don't have my phone on me.
It was Gene calling you again.
There you go.
Talked yesterday just the value of having Mason on the floor for extended periods, and just not only the rebounds, just how he kept plays alive.
Right.
That led to pretty important baskets.
Yeah, he's got a motor, and sometimes with that, like if somebody gets in his way, he'll truck them and get some of those fouls. But no, he's very active, and his ability to keep plays alive, really helps us. And just not having him in some stretches in the last couple games, when you look back, you wish he could be out there more, and tonight he was.
Coach, you spoke about the good plays from your seniors down the stretch, but Trevion's defense on the inbounds play there, just his ability to kind of process everything in front of him and get that deflection, just what does it say about the defender that he is?
Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that. I didn't mention that, but that was a huge play. He's gotten that position before, and you get stuck a little bit when you have somebody that can jump off a trampoline like Trace Jackson Davis, and then you have a guard who's really getting into the paint and really putting you in a bind. So you're playing them in between because you really want him to shoot that tough floater. You want to keep him away from the threes and the dunks, but Trace Jackson Davis is so good at diving right there. They really put you in the mix. But Travion did a great job on that play of just having active hands and then getting that steal for us.
What did you see happening on the stretch of 5 turnovers and 6 possessions?
And what stretch?
The stretch of 5 turnovers and 6 possessions.
In the second half?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of lost our way. Like a couple times, just they did a good job of overloading, and just making it tough and just loading up when we were driving the basketball. And then we just didn't make simple plays. When we thread the needle on one, another one, a guy's open, but then we wait for him to get covered. And just, that's it's been a little bit of an Achilles for us, is when we get guys that just don't make the simple play. And when we try to overdo things, when they put 2 to 3 people on the basketball and don't make simple passes, we get in trouble. So it was nothing complex. It was just guys, not getting the ball out of their hands or trying to overdo something.
Matt, with those one possession losses at Michigan State and Wisconsin, when they got up 3 here, came right back and scored the next 3 possessions too. How good did that feel, just that they responded so quickly like that?
Yeah, our issues, in those games, we actually responded in those games and scored. Jaden made a basket, Jaden made a drive. We executed great, and Zach missed that layup against Wisconsin, that little baby hook that he had right there. So that's what you want from your guys. Even if you miss shots, you want to be able to execute and get a good shot. And then, right as that happened, our guys did a good job of executing, getting to the free throw line, and then getting open looks.
Matt, 25 wins for the 9th time under your watch. 5th time in 6 years. You have the best record at home. You're making some things second nature here that are impossible for other folks. Your thoughts on those accomplishments?
Well, I think we have a great advantage, just like Indiana has an advantage when you play at home. Getting a team and trying to build and keep developing and having older players along with that environment helps a lot. So, you know, we have some older guys on our team. We have some experience. We have some really talented younger guys too. And I think that's the mix in college basketball. It's going to be harder for people to get older and stay older, but that's the key. If you can get old and stay old, and you got guys, you know, I got 2 guys that have been with me for 4 years, another guy that's been with me for 5. And so, like, they understand, they get it. And that's the key. And not everybody's having that. You see a lot of people running out in college basketball and just, you know, it's like trading baseball cards. They're, you know, guys are playing on 2, 3, 4 teams in their college career. And it's not that they're not good players or they have the right to do it, but how are you supposed to build and develop? You know, how are the Spurs supposed to be great with that run without having those guys stay, you know, with that organization? But we have a great environment, and we have an unbelievable advantage. You know, I think playing here, our fans really give us an advantage.
Matt, up 2 with Williams at the free throw line. He misses 2 free throws, and Johnson grabs the rebound.
Correct.
What's going through your mind with the chance for Indiana to win it?
They, well, what I was talking about in the previous one and that one, we're gonna make one of those, we're gonna foul at half court. So I'm just making sure our guys know that we don't lose our mind if we make 2 or lose 2 and we go to foul. Like, I'm just, you know, that's always my concern right there is, you know, we do something really stupid in foul when it's 2 or 4. You know, it's got to be at 3, and you got to wait for them to get to half. So that was, if he was making that last one, I was trying to get our 4 to go pick the ball up so they wouldn't have a clean pass up the court. And then once it didn't happen and then they miss, I was just yelling no threes. Like, you know, make him drive. Like, no threes, stay at home on the 3, make it difficult for him. And then I don't know what happened right there. I kind of took my eye, I'm looking right at it, and he has a lane to go, and he's at a half court. I don't know if he tried to, like, get into him and he got fouled, or he, like, jumped. But he's at 50 feet. He's at 45 feet. He's in that kind of, like, you know, you're not going to shoot it at that point. And so I got to go back and watch to kind of see what happened right there. But I was just trying not to lose that game right there. But, like, it's when you got a guy that's a shifty Xavier Johnson, that's where you're in danger, because, like, he can cross somebody over real quick and then just have a 3. And so that's why you shouldn't, you know, not put yourself in that position.
Matt, you're now in a tournament time, one tournament and then another. How do you feel right now about where you are? Do you feel good about where this team is as you get to this?
You know, as a coach, you're always greedy. You want to be better. You know, you want to, you know, I thought we put ourselves in a really good position in that second half after we put ourselves in a good position in the first half. Like, we just had some extreme runs there, you know, for and against us. And then when we subbed, you know, it just kind of happened at that time. And then I took those guys out and put those guys in and just stayed with them. And I felt, you feel bad about that because you like those guys, but that mix just didn't work in that stretch. So just trying to get consistency. You know, I know we're 25-6 and we're going to be 2nd or 3rd in our league, whatever we end up in our league, and going into the Big Ten tournament. But I feel like if we can give ourselves a chance and not turn the basketball over, you know, I like our chances. It doesn't mean we can't get beat in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament, the first round of the NCAA tournament. But when we take care of the basketball, we give ourselves a pretty good chance to win the game. And it's not the only thing that matters. I've thought our defense has been better, you know, here the past couple weeks. We're still not, you know, where I think we need to be, and so we just got to keep working. So, but a lot of it depends on, like, who we match up to in the Big Ten tournament, like who we match up to in the NCAA tournament. Those matchups are going to be important. But you can still, you know, do the constants. You can still take care of the ball. You can still rebound. You can still help each other out.
Coach, and going back to Johnson's shot, I mean, they put time back on the clock, and now you guys have to regroup and reset and get the ball back in. Just how much confidence did you have in Trevion to make that play? Because, I mean, there's some things that could go wrong. I know it's not a lot of time, but is he the person you want to have the ball in his hands to inbound it in that moment?
Yeah, he's, you know, obviously he's a really good passer. At point 3, they can't shoot the basketball, so you got to understand that. So a lot of people think you should throw it long, and it's actually the last thing you should do, because you throw it long and no one touches it, that ball comes back to the, you know, where we were taking the ball out, and now they could throw a lob play and tip it in. So it's the last thing you want. You'd rather hand the ball to them than throw the ball at the other end, because if you hand the ball to them, they're not going to just tip it from out of bounds. They got to turn and shoot it. So you absolutely can't shoot the ball in. You can tip it or tap it in at that time. So that's what we call the timeout, just to make sure no matter what you do, at the worst, if you want to throw it at his ankles, throw it at his ankles. You know, if you want to hand him the ball, hand him the ball. But we're going to obviously cut and just pass the ball to each other and finish the game. So that's what we were discussing. We were just explaining the rule to him.
He did a pretty good job bottling up Johnson for 16 minutes, and they started working that high ball screen with
Right.
Trace. What were the challenges in that?
Yeah, we wanted to down some of them after he got going for a while, and then we had a couple guards like mess it up. One of our guards downed on his own, and that's when you saw Miller Kopp's 3 that he hit. We just botched that whole play. So we were just trying to box him in to the best of the ability. When you box people in and you down them like that, and you got an athletic big, you can't let him behind you, because if you let him behind you, they're going to throw those lobs as they drag your big guy down, but you're not letting him get into the middle of the floor. So we were really trying to get Xavier Johnson into as many pull-ups and floaters as possible and not let him get to the rim. And he obviously got to the rim a couple times on Trace made a really good on a snake. Trace made a really good, they called it Gortat, in terms of just blasting that guy at the rim, and then he snaked it and got that layup. He did a good job, with that. So that's all we were trying to get accomplished there. But he's a good player. Xavier Johnson's very shifty. And when he takes good shots, man, he really puts you in a bind.
Chris, one more super quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. It don't matter.
5 years ago, when you talked to Sasha about redshirting, you said that he could help you a lot more in 2022 than he could in 2017. When you look back on all he's done this year for you in this 5th year, does that sort of put the stamp on why you redshirt guys and hoping to get stuff out of them down the road?
Yeah, no question. You're going to be better when you're 22, 23 years old versus being 18 or 19. I think that's an easy thing. And then you come into college basketball and you don't lose your confidence. Like, some people are physically overmatched when they get there, and then people deem them not good enough. They're good enough, they're just physically not ready. And so it's, you got 4 or 5 years experience on somebody, and then you got, a physical advantage. So you just got to kind of catch up to speed with knowing what's going on in a program and then developing physically. But you don't lose your confidence when you don't play and you redshirt. So if you just don't play and you sit the bench and you burn a year, like, there's you got the small man in your ear, telling you you're not quite there, you're not quite good enough. And that's not the case. And so I'm a big believer in you become what the head coach thinks of you. And when I watched him, I thought he was a good player. And so I've coached low major basketball, mid major basketball, high major basketball. And if you're good, you're good. I don't like to label guys. I hate the numbers. The numbers stink. Anybody in this room can tell us who the top 20 players in the country are. But from 21 to 500, Zach Edey's like in the 300s. How foolish are they? Chris Kramer is like 430. Like, only thing those two guys have done is win basketball games here. I don't know what Sasha was ranked, and I could care less. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, if you sign with the school and you're like, it's a blue blood, and you were 27, you're automatically 16. Like, how's that work? You sign with a non-blue blood and you're 45, then all of a sudden you're 74, and it's like, it's ridiculous. You'd be amazed that you see people in the 30s, and there's some guys not even ranked, and you don't. It's like Indiana. Like, Indiana's like Rob Finney. Like, I loved Rob Finney. I thought he was great. I thought he was a winner. He had a lot of winning qualities about him. Like, when you rank guys, you can't judge what's in their heart. When you go and recruit them and spend time with them and see them, like, you see that. That's the evaluation is your work ethic. Do you have any baggage? Like, just because things are going to happen. Things are going to happen. So to get a guy like that who just wants to help Purdue win and can make shots and can move and can pass, that's fun. He's got heavy feet, but that's okay. There's a lot of good people with heavy feet. So.
Hey, Matt, let's talk about the legacy of Purdue. Coach Katie in the house today, senior day. A lot of schools go through a lot of coaches, and you guys have, together it's kind of very unusual. What do you think about your legacy here, or just the legacy of basketball coaches at Purdue, where you fit in?
Well, I'm fortunate because I have a blueprint to go by. He laid the blueprint, whether, academics, how to handle things socially, how to handle things within your program. I worked for, 3 of the 4 people that coached me. And so, like, traveling with those guys and hearing stories, and you think you know so much when you're 21 years old. And then as you get to be 31 and you get 10 years under your belt coaching, you realize you knew very little. And you still realize you know very little. Like, everything will humble you. The game will humble you. And so, but no, we had a great blueprint from Coach Katie and how to run a program. Like, anybody can have a good team, but can you consistently have a good team? Can you consistently try to do things the right way? Because not everybody's perfect. You're not going to have things happen perfectly, especially socially. You take 15 to 17, 19 to 22-year-olds in any fashion, anything that they do, like, something's bound to happen here. Like, it's just the way it rolls. So you got to do a lot of things to try to do from a prevention standpoint to help those guys, so they don't put themselves in there. And it all comes back to Coach Katie, and Coach Katie was actually great. Like, you'd mess up or you would do something, and he would obviously have some discipline, but he would always stand by you. And that's something that we try to do with our guys, but also hold them accountable. I think telling them the truth, they might not like. I don't think every one of our guys likes me, and that's all right. But that's not what you're there for. They've got a bunch of people out there that like them. They don't need one more. They need someone to hold them accountable and tell them the truth. So, thank you.
Thanks, no zone defense question this time.
You guys have win? No. I said some really good shit. Hey, guys. Hey, Beavis and Butthead. Dumb and dumb. Oh.
From left to right, we have Trevion Williams, Eric Hunter Jr., and Sasha Stefanovic. Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you.
37. Did you guys get together last night and draw this scenario up where each of you three would play the roles that you did today?
I think that's the basketball gods.
Yeah. No. Just knowing you have, it's against your rival, final game here. Just trying to do everything you can to get a win. I think that was the biggest thing for all of us.
Just for you guys to step up with senior night and all that kind of stuff. The script kind of played out that way.
Yeah. I mean, I think you've probably seen that happen a couple times this year in different games. But of course, it's a little bigger on a day like today. But yeah, I'm proud of these guys for stepping up. Appreciate Coach for trusting us and putting us in the right position to finish a tough game like that out.
Eric, you guys had those tough one-possession losses at Michigan State and Wisconsin and such, but when Indiana got up 3 here late, you guys responded immediately, got right back into control of this game. How important was that, especially, I know history's history, but how important was that to get back on top and just try to keep things rolling?
I think it was extremely important, especially the timing of it. I don't know exactly what time it was. I know it was like 4 or 5 minutes maybe. But that's, a time where you have to stop the other team's run or make a run yourself. Just going down the stretch before that last, media timeout. And, yeah, I think we did that today. We stepped up, we got some stops. There's a couple times where we could have fouled guys and they got to the free throw line, but we played good defense.
Trey, I think that those last couple of minutes for you were some of the best basketball you played all year. What kind of drove you there to kind of put that game away?
I don't know if that was the best I've played all year, but no, it was definitely important for us to step up. Like I said, like a day like today, you kind of expect guys to, obviously you're supposed to play hard, but you expect guys to, you expect it to mean a little something, more on this day. Obviously, we're playing our rivals, so, it was good to kind of get back in the flow with things and, make big-time stops. I was struggling early on. I was trying to find my rhythm. And, every game is not going to be your game, but I stayed with it, kept my head, and, I came in and got, I want to say a couple very big rebounds that, allowed us to go on offense. So.
Trevion, similar to what Brian was saying, though, how were you able to inbound or dissect that inbounds pass late in the game there and get that deflection? Trace was cutting to the basket, and you had to fight over the screen. It seemed like if you were a half second late there, that could be a layup for them.
Just understanding personnel. Obviously they had the play before. They had got a good look at 3, and it was just a communication error. And then just realizing the time, they were down 2 with just a couple seconds to go. And I knew it was either going to Race or Trace, which are 2 of the most dominant, paint players. I just kind of had that in the back of my head and, tried to stay within the paint and kind of make that stop. So
does that come from instincts or is that film? Or?
Like I said, it's a little bit of both. It's just film, instincts. Like I said, personnel, scouting report, just all that stuff, plays a part in getting this win. So,
Sasha, how do you describe the intensity out there today?
Yeah, it's like I said out there in our speech and everything, but I've been here 5 years and it's been sold out every single game pretty much, and against IU it's always a little bit more louder, and there's just a different energy. There's a buzz in the arena, but it was awesome. I really can't think of a better way to go out here in Mackey than have that crowd and this result.
For Eric, it seemed like you guys got every loose ball today. Where did that come from?
We talked before games about 50-50 balls, and we always want to try to get 80% of those 50-50 balls, because it just gives us more chances to have the ball and score. So that just goes to all the stuff we talk about before the games, every single game. Yeah, Mason he's Mason.
Trevion, I think it was 15-2 in second chance points. The ability to get 14 offensive rebounds, the ability to get that and to finish to some of those shots. How big was that, particularly early in you guys getting the lead?
Man, it was huge for us. Obviously, with our actions, a lot of times, we try to run at a good pace, and it doesn't always work the first time. And, I think we've gotten better at accepting that and moving on to the next play, whether it's just going into motion. If they knock our first action out, we get into motion. If we get into motion, we get a shot up. Our third option has to be go get the offensive rebound. So that's just kind of our mindset and how we've improved in that area. We've really prided ourselves on rebounding the basketball. They are a really good rebounding team. They got some high flyers. So we coach kind of pounced on hitting those guys and making sure we're checking guys out. So.
Hey guys, congratulations, all three of you. We started Big Ten Media Days, you three guys there. Just thanks for being so good to all of us too through the whole season. But let's reflect back on Coach Painter and the system, the Purdue system. What does that mean to you guys when you came here? You obviously knew that this was a fantastic program, but you guys are putting your blood, sweat, tears into this program. But what does that mean to you with Coach Painter, Coach Katie in the house, and just the longevity?
Yeah, it's something that when you come into this program, you really have to earn everything that you're given. When Coach Payne recruits you and everything, it's not he doesn't give you guarantees that you're going to do anything. You have to earn everything. You have to work really hard to get everything that you out there on the floor or off the floor, whatever it may be. So, just taking that away from him and seeing Coach Katie come to practices and all that stuff and see him support still. It's great to have this community of Purdue people that really genuinely care about us and the program, and it's it's good to just give that love back sometimes too. So it's been really rewarding. That's why I said out there it's been a great ride, and it's been everything I could have dreamed of.
Trevion, Eric said Mason was Mason, but in the last two games he's been having some foul trouble. But just the value of having him on the floor for extended minutes today, and the loose balls that he came up and keeping plays alive.
You just it's mandatory that you get a guy like that on your team. He does all the little things. He's diving on the floor. He's hitting guys every time. He's tracking the ball down. He can hit an open three. He just does all the right things, and I think simple and just being tough. That's what Coach likes. And I think Mason, out of everybody, most importantly, has earned Coach Painter's trust because he's simple, and like I said, he does those little things, and he gets rewarded. So, like I said, you want a guy like that on your team. Obviously, you don't want to be that guy on a opponent's team getting hit by him because, that's a rude awakening. So, like I said, you need a guy like that on your team.
Tom and then Brian.
Sasha, I asked Coach Painter earlier about that conversation from 5 years ago about when you redshirted, that he needed you in 2022 more than he needed you in 2017. Now that his regular season is over and complete, and just how much has this fifth year meant to you and everything you guys have accomplished so far with so much still ahead?
Yeah, he's absolutely right. I would have I would have not made any difference as a freshman. But no, just seeing that growth obviously throughout my time here, and I say all the time when I came here, looking back, I just don't think I was that good of a player. I don't think I could have made a impact on this team that I could make now. So, in hindsight, it's a really tough decision. No kid wants to hear you're not good enough right now to play. So I need you to redshirt. I need you to sit out a year. So, that conversation was tough, but it's really been the greatest thing I've ever done in terms of my basketball career, and just understanding patience, and not everything is going to come right away. But now as I'm a senior, a fifth-year senior, I'm able to reap those benefits of it, and head into a postseason with a great team and some momentum, and hopefully we could do some great things.
Sasha, there was some stuff that happened in this game that has caught up with you guys in the past. There were some missed free throws. Obviously, there was a stretch of turnovers. Any extra kind of significance to overcoming those things today?
No, just handling that adversity. I think obviously we got down there for a little bit, but we didn't execute. Like you said, we got some turnovers here and there, but just maintaining that, maintaining the course, and understanding that when we do the things the right way, we're usually pretty successful, and when we stray away from that, we kind of have some we don't really have success at that. So just battling through that, just trying to continue to talk through things, communicate with one another. It's tough out there when it's really loud like that, but just doing all those little things, I think helped contribute to this win.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Oh my God, I'm freezing.